Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We have gathered here for season 10 of IRC. It's Tier 2, round 1, it is in Bahrain, and it's gonna be a very interesting race. Let's hope for that at least. We are joined by myself, Swagger Turbo, Moto, Shock, and SupremeKai as the streamer. Let's quickly get into the brag guides and let's get this party started. So we have Bahrain. Of course, it's going to be hot. It's not going to be sunny because it's a night race, and we have 3 DRS zones, which is going to promote a lot of overtaking. We've already seen from the Tier 3 race that there was a lot of overtaking going on. So if you haven't seen that yet, go and check it out after this stream. So again, as I said, a very speed circuit as well as a very intricate sector 2 as well. So it's going to be interesting. And let's see how the whole race pans out, and let's quickly hop on to a hot lap of Bahrain.
Let's go for a hot lap of the Sakir circuit, rounding the final corner now, thundering down the main straight. DRS open as we cross the line and start the lap. DRS open, dump ERS, all that you can to extract all the top speed that you can. Brake at the beginning of the curb at the left hand side for turn 1. Important traction zone through turns 2 and 3. Try not to lose the rear end and lose too much time as we come to another DRS section here. An important overtaking zone where Hamilton and Verstappen collided. As we go in through turn 4, don't run too wide here as we set ourselves up for the end of sector 1, curving through the S's. Turn 7 and 8 now. Important to get the car rotated well through here. Important traction zone coming out of turn 8, and now we come to a difficult braking zone, the double left-hander of turns 9 and 10. Important to brake as in a straight line as possible. Get the car turned in, DRS open once again down the back straight. As he parts under the DHL board, another important braking zone here and an important overtaking point as well as we come into turn 11. Turn 12 is a long looping left-hander as the Alfa Romeo encounters a snap of oversteer coming through turn 13. And coming now to turn 14, the end of sector 2, sector 3 begins. Run as wide as possible as we head down a little straight, possibly the final overtaking point before the lap ends. Get the car turned in for the final corner, a short burst to the line, DRS detection point once again, and that is a lap of Bahrain.
A 27-7 said by the man Moto himself. So Moto, what are your thoughts and opinions on today's race?
Yeah, well, hello Swagger, and hello to all the viewers out there watching. Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? It's been a long hiatus. We've taken a break from sim racing and F1 in general. The season's back, the IRL season's back, and so with it is IRC. And yeah, Bahrain in the desert sand and night race, it's a spectacle, isn't it? It's one of the best circuits for overtaking, and it's rampant on the tires, a very abrasive, track surface, and it's got some interesting corners to it. Turns 10, 9 and 10 especially. That complex requires quite a bit of finesse under braking, where you try to change the balance of the car and whatnot. But yeah, looking forward to it. In all honesty, look, it's good. It's going to be a great opener.
Of course, we've already seen a fantastic race with T3 as well, and we got so many quick drivers in T2. And do you have any predictions going into this race, or for, let's say WDC, WCC? Of course, it's a very early doors for those things, but do you have any, like your favorites for Tier 2?
Well, I mean, I'm going to let the Red Bull bias kick in a bit and say that both Dark Knight and ABD look to be very, very solid contenders for the WDC and CC respectively. And it's interesting because this grid is quite a different one. We've got a lot of people from Tier 4, Tier 3 coming up the ranks into Tier 2 now. We also have the usual names like Ink and Heisenberg as well. It's a very stacked grid, I'll give you that. But again, early days, and it can all change throughout I mean, last season was quite one-sided with Shawshank taking the entire championship by over 100 points, I think. This season, I think it's going to be a different story. Probably a much closer title fight is in store for us.
Indeed, let's hope that we have a pretty decent battle. The first car is out, and I think it's Alex who's in the Ferrari, and no one else is out on the circuit. They're slowly coming out of the pits now, and Alex just instantly got out. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of, a lap they are able to set, what kind of bankers they're able to set, and see the difference between all the lap times as well. Because as you said, it's going to be a proper stacked, lineup over here. I already see a lot of fast people and a few people who were in tier 1 last time out, and they opted to use a bit of assist and come back to tier 2. So it's going to be, fun to watch how everyone cope in tier 2, and let's just hope that, unlike last time, we have a very close title fight as well as a good fight for the constructors.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think we might just get one because, again, a stacked grid, a lot of different driving styles, a lot of different, attributes spread across the entire field. And as you go on board for the first hot lap of the season, or first banker lap rather, on board the Ferrari of Alex, he's not going full throttle. So I think he's just getting his tires up to temperature, or maybe he got a really bad exit out of the last corner, because yeah, he's not pushing at all, even though his outlap is over. So yeah, tire temps are an issue here, surprisingly. Even though this game is notorious for keeping your tires under check, because it's a night race, and because the meta in this game is to run relatively low pressures. The tires do take a while to ramp up and get up to temperature here, so now maybe a bunch of preparation laps will be sort of beneficial for these drivers. But I think we're going on board FIFA Kanak, another new name in the F1 racing background. He's come over from ACC's Rapid on that sim, and it's going to be interesting to see how he brings over his racecraft and expertise from that sim to this one. As he winds up into turn 2 exit, got a clean line. Could we go on board the Alpine? Kai? Yeah, thank you. So as he approaches the S's here, you need to keep your momentum up through those corners. It's all about carrying, maximizing your minimum speed rather than thinking about the exit. As he approaches the notorious turns 9 and 10 complex, taking a very wide line, turning in later than you think, taking the curve on the exit. Very interesting line on the exit there. So that is suggestive of a very high ride height, a rear ride height, to be able to take the curve very well like that. A nice swooping line into turn 11, balancing the car on the exit. Very good weight distribution through that corner there. Into turn 13 now, takes a bit too much of a nibble of the curb there. Might have compromised him on the exit, but as he approaches the last braking zone, going to be braking just after the green board. Turn in late and then the power down as early as you can. Plant it down and maximize your distance, minimize your distance to the line. It's a 28.9, almost a second clear of P2 there. Very dominant lap from the Alpine.
We're gonna have the track ramping up as well, and these guys, again, it's just a banker lap, so a lot of people just take it a little slow in the first few laps, and of course as time goes by we'll get faster and faster lap times. So only 7 drivers have set their lap times, and few of them have done above 140s. So again, it's going to be, towards the end of the quali, we'll be seeing faster and faster lap times, because FIFA Kanak is on provisional pole right now, but we still have 12 minutes in this quali. So right now we are on board, I think, Faizan, who's on a out lap, in lap, because he's already set a lap time right now. And yeah, Existence also, all of these guys are setting a 130s and 129s. And we saw this in tier 3 yesterday, that these guys in tier 3 were able to set low 129. So I'm pretty sure that with the whole, track evolution and whatnot, there's definitely time to be gained over here.
Yeah, pretty interesting to know that. I don't know, Faizan was stuck in neutral, so maybe he's trying to burn off the fuel by killing the revs on that gearbox, or maybe it was just a glitch, a visual glitch on the game. But I think FIFA Kanak is approaching the pit lane. Yeah, so he did have that mistake in Sector 3 where he took a bit too much of the inside curb. So yeah, he does have more lap time in that very quick banker he set. But yeah, as you mentioned, the track will be ramping up soon, and I think Bahrain is one of the circuits in this game which we can benefit quite a bit from being one of the last runners to put their lap times in just because how much the track does ramp up. But yeah, some very quick lap times coming in from our tier 2 boys, and you know what? Let's get our predictions out of the way, Swaga. Who do you think is going to pip it on pole for the inaugural race of tier 2? I think I'll go with Kanak itself because for 28.9 for a banker is quite rapid.
Indeed, he's the only guy who's actually put that car under 128. So he's put it in 128, I mean, and under 129. Everyone else is it's either 129 above, and James is like the closest to Kanak right now. But again, we haven't seen every single driver put a lap in. So we still have the likes of both the Aston Martins as well as the Haas's, and even the Alfa Romeo of Shrikant. So I'm just hoping that these guys have put in some better lap times in, and we see a very, very close fight for the pole over here. And for the predictions part, I really, because of course in T3 I am in Mercedes, so I want one of the Merc boys to be up there in on the podium. But yeah, for now I feel like Kanak has it in the bag because the first banker, a sub 129, yeah, that's a pretty good lap by him.
Yeah, I mean, this gives us a good break to talk about as BK. Ooh, goes across the line. Yep, there's your track evolution in action right there, folks. BK goes 28.8 and Eisenberg goes at 28.7. So yeah, track evolution in action right in front of you right there. But this gives us an opportunity to talk about the Aston Martins, a very peculiar lineup with Inc. Being very consistent over the course of the season, whereas Sai being on sort of the opposite end of the spectrum. No doubt a very quick driver and very capable one, quite unlucky most of the time. But how do you think that dynamic is going to, plan out throughout the entire season? Do you think there'll be instances where Inc. is going to be helping Sai out, in terms of racecraft, in terms of, just keeping his wing out of danger? And do you think Sai will sort of reciprocate with that, with consistency and, overall outright pace as well? How do you think that duo is going to work out over the course of the season?
Of course, a WCC isn't one solo, so you need both the teammates at least in points, and if not on the podium. So again, we have a very long season in hand, and to be honest, Inc. and Sai have raced with both of them. Both are pretty quick, and as you was talking about, just consistency and stuff, we have already seen this in our previous seasons where I think it was Logesh who he obviously put in some time in the game, got better at the game, and now is in tier 1. So we could see these teammates helping each other out to become faster and faster and try and get that WCC. And of course, Sai will know how to do that because he's already, I think, won one of the WCCs before as well, and so has Inc. So both of them know how to win a WCC. Now they have to try and just win it together, and maybe one of them can even challenge for WDC. And while you were talking about Bahrain being a track for just like the ramping up and everything, the curbs in turn 12 as well, I think it is turn 5, the hairpin left-hander.
Yeah,
it's going to be super hard during the race if they're going side by side, because if you touch any of those curbs, it is pretty much a definite spin, and a lot of people were making a few mistakes here and there. So let's just hope during the race no one touches those curbs and stays away from it. And the AlphaTauri did a pretty okay slap. It's a 129.5, only 11% ERS left though. So I don't think he'll be improving on that.
That is
lap.
suggestive of a second push lap, I think. The fact he's so low on ERS, I don't know. But yeah, go ahead.
The only thing is, with obviously like with yesterday's race at night as well. The one thing that was pretty clear is if you have an extra pair of softs, it might really help out with the late safety car that we had last time out. And a lot of people over here just cutting the corner, I think, letting other people through, and it was
Yeah.
super close in front. They almost had a crash in front, but you know, till now it's pretty okay. No one really has had any collections of cars or whatnot. No one's at least crashed, so that's a good thing.
Most definitely is. I think the racing standards have just skyrocketed in IRC. Like tier 3 was a very very great display of proper racecraft, good wheel to wheel battles, and just a few instances here and there where under safety car I think there were a few collisions and whatnot. But overall the racing standards have improved so much, and I think tier 2 is going to reciprocate in the same way, and we might just see even better racing tonight. Well, today, but tonight in the game, why not? As we head on board with the Ferrari of Alex, trying to finish his lap, we did see him set a banker of 30.5, and he does improve significantly from that, but only good enough for P15, which is surprising because he was one of the notable names heading into this one, where he does have very good race pace, but I think he's finding it a bit of a struggle to replicate that in qualifying right now. But yeah, as things stand, I think the Astons, yeah, Inc. Surprisingly P6 only. I'd expect him to be higher up because he is known to be very very rapid in qualifying, and he's got the race paces and race craft as well. But qualifying is where he really does shine. P6 for the Aston right now, and I'm pretty sure he's got plenty of more time to find on the table there. As we head on board with BK, is he on a push lap? No, he's on an out lap. And let's just have a look if any of the other drivers are preparing or getting ready for laps. I think it's only BK right now, so we should stick forward with him. And yeah, let's have a look on board and see how the Alfa Romeo approaches his second push lap. Now heading out of the last braking zone, you want to make sure you get a good exit because a long straight coming up. One of the best overtaking opportunities here into turn 1. Reaching the speeds up to 330 k's, using the curb to brake there. I'm surprised he's able to do that. Gets the car turned in quite nicely, short shifting to the exit, balancing the car on the throttle, avoiding the right side curb there like the plague. So probably a bit of setup magic is required there to ride that curb properly, which he quite hasn't done. Or maybe it's a compromise he's taken. Half a tenth up in sector 1, swooping through the S section here into turn 8. I think a very late apex. You want to make sure you get a good exit, but also carry quite a lot of minimum speed through the apex of the corner into turns 9 and 10. First gear, very interesting choice there, short shifting on the exit, getting the power down, not quite as nicely as it looked when the last time we were on board him, but still get a very tidy lap. And yeah, a bit too much of a squirt of a throttle there, and yeah, he's spun around.
That's really unfortunate for him, but the only good thing is he still has time to get back into the pits and maybe just squeeze in one last lap if that is what he's looking for. Because right now the top 4, only 3 tenths between them. The other guys, again, everyone is in the pits. The track is going to be just all the 20 cars are going to be out in the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and yeah, a lot of them just chilling in the pits right now. And going purple in Haas is it's Shrey.
No,
So
he's in
Shrey,
out lap.
oh, it's out lap.
Yeah, it's a glitch.
Fair enough. So yeah, he just came out and I saw purple, got excited. But yeah, overall right now most of them will be coming out of the pits just to put in those banker. Its banker is already done. So right now it's just a all-out push to try and get yourself in that top 10. So right now we have Heisenberg, BK, and FIFA Kanak in the top 3. And yeah, you predicted that FIFA Kanak will be on pole. So let's see how that turns out.
Yeah, I think we should just stay on board the Haas driver right now because he does look very, well, I won't say dominant, but probably now the best bet on pole. But I'll still stick by my prediction. I still think the Alpine driver is going to nick it in the end there. But yeah, we shall go on board the Haas driver and see how he tackles the lap of the Bahrain International Circuit. Swagger, you want to take us on board the Haas driver then?
Sure, why not? So coming into the last turn, of course, this is a very crucial part of the next lap because if you go slightly off, it's completely done. That lap and the next lap as well is, just null. So getting a pretty decent exit out of the last turn. Heisenberg is doing pretty decent, and I love the name that he has, Hasenberg, just in Haas, perfect name as well. And going through the turns 1 and 2, pretty neat and tidy over there, going up to 6th gear now. And yeah, the car in front has given him space. Hopefully he does not get in the way. There we go. And yeah, going through the next sector, this is the place where it's basically make or break. The second sector, if you have a decent lap time in, you will, basically put your car on pole. Purple sector yet again for Heisenberg. He's absolutely flying right now, and we have yellow flags in the second sector, but I don't think that's going to affect Heisenberg here. Taking a pretty decent line. Okay, short shifting up to 4th gear. DRS open and pretty clean so far by Heisenberg over here. And I won't be surprised if this is going to be a purple sector 2 as well. So a lot of yellow flags just flashing here and there, but it's mostly for people just slowing down, preparing for their next lap. 2 tenths up on his last lap, but yeah, second sector was slower than what he had already set. And in the background, Shrey actually pops himself up P2, and can Heisenberg improve on a 128.7 and make sure solidify his pole? And he does. He goes faster, and 128.4. That's a very decent lap by Heisenberg right there. Class 1-2. We still have other
that's
people.
That's pulling the pin, isn't it?
That's
really making putting a stamp down, if you will. Making a name for himself in the tier, asserting dominance already. 4 tenths is a pretty big gap, and it's way more than what I expected to be in this level of competition right now in tier 2. But a stonking lap from the Haas driver, and the Haas team just looks really, really quick. In qualifying pace at least, but yeah, that is some scary pace from the Haas boys there.
Indeed, and do we have a few people putting in their laps? We have Existence, who's putting in his lap right now, and the others are pretty much just, slowing down, giving other people way, not getting in their way. And he puts up, Deepak goes up to P7, pretty decent lap by him, and FIFA Kanak goes P2 and splits both the Haases and gets that first row of the grid.
Yep. Well, not pole, but yeah, still a good effort, and it's his first league race in the game. So, and it's only up from here. Ink is retired. Ink is retired in the pits. Wow, that is a surprise. He believes that he's got no more time to find, and he's just retired in P7. He'll be feeling a bit underwhelmed by that, not gonna lie, but still a top 10 is all you need to challenge for a podium in this tier, with how much you can change, how much positions change over the course of the first 5 laps or so. Dark Knight's also over with his qualifying. So is ABD, the other Red Bull driver. Not a great showing for the other one. Dark Knight really dominant over his teammate right now. P6, and ABD is almost double the positions off of his teammate there. King James P4 relegated from tier 1, and he's definitely got bundles of pace over the grid. And BK P5, Sai Tarun P8, both the Astons going very well in qualifying. Just Sai's 2 tenths apart from his teammate there. So yeah, good showing from the Aston teams, and yeah, it looks like it's going to be a great race. What do you say, Swagger?
Oh, I'm hoping a lot in the race as well, because all the way from FIFA Kanak to Ink, from 2nd to 7th, it's just 2 tenths difference between all of them. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes on in the race, with all the strategies, with, like undercuts, overcuts, which actually worked even yesterday. So yeah, overall a very, very decent lap by Heisenberg right there, putting that car on pole, and used only 2 sets of tires as well. So he will have a chance. Maybe, let's say there's a late safety car like yesterday, he has a very decent amount of tire pool as well, because he's Kai. Oh, okay. Our voices won't be heard over here, right?
All right, no big issue there, folks. We're just gonna be back to the race. Yeah, thoughts on that qualifying swagger? I mean, Heisenberg, everyone, I can see the chat already on Discord saying, tier one, he's put him in tier one. But 4/10 of a gap, P2. Quite a big margin, isn't it? So, what do you think is the right decision for the coordinators to take here? Is he tier one worthy, or is the race gonna paint a different picture?
I mean, at the end of the day, we'll have to see how they perform in the race, because there's going to be a lot of different strategies, as I was talking about earlier. And yeah, till the time they don't really make that pace like work. How do I explain it? It's like till the time they don't use the quali pace in the race, it's not going to be enough, because quali is just for one lap. You mess up once, you got to try again, you know. But in the race, if you mess up once, you just lose so many positions, and you gotta conserve your tires, your ERS, and there's just so much in a race that you have to just take care of to win. So it's going to be a completely different ball game when it comes to a race from a quali.
Yeah, absolutely. Driving a car with 5 laps of fuel versus driving one with 28 laps of fuel, with what, 20 drivers around you. As I think the lights are out, Swagger, take it away.
It's 5 red lights and away we go. That was super quick. I see one of the Astons actually already overtaking and coming first. What's going on over here? So yeah, we missed out on the starter right there, and Sai somehow is first, and FIFA Canuck and the Heisenberg have contact, and he spins. Heisenberg, the man on pole, I was just talking about this, and he has spun out. No idea what's going on this side, Kai. But yeah, it's like what a race this has been. Sai
How is
overtook.
Sai Tarun up to P2? Hello? What's happened there?
He's had a wonderful start, and out of
Wonderful
nowhere,
is sort of an understatement. He's gained 6 positions of the starting 9. How is that possible?
well, it's just unfortunate that we couldn't really see what happened over there. But yeah, he is losing a few positions here and there, and unfortunately, Heisenberg, the guy on pole, is 20th by lap 1.
That is just woeful, isn't it? He had his fair shares of misery in last season as well, and hopefully it doesn't translate to this over the course of this season. But further on, Kanak has got a great start already, 1.5 seconds ahead of P2. That's a massive gap. If we're talking, in equal cars, the equal performance, Sai Tarun in P3, just 5/10 behind the driver in P2. Is Sai on soft tires? There's a McLaren going round. It's King James who spun around there. I've no clue what's happened there, but yeah, a bit of a war from the McLaren driver right there. Could we have a look at the tires, as there's a bit of scurrying for positions here, as Ink going around the outside of the Ferrari driver there. Great move by the Aston driver. Is he going to still hang it around the outside? They're going side by side into turn 4. And on the harder compound of tire, he's giving him the squeeze. But the Ferrari of Alex comes back at him and sends it down the inside. Lovely battling right there, folks, for us on lap 2 out of 29.
And one thing to keep in mind is that FIFA Canuck, who's in the lead right now, 2-second lead is on the hards. So towards the second half of the race, he's going to get even quicker. And so is Ink, and Faizan. So all of them starting on hard tires, and almost everyone else is on the mediums. And there's a huge crash at the back in the background, and
Ooh.
these two cars definitely facing the wrong way right there.
Could we go on with the Alfa Romeo of BK, Kai, if you could? P40. Yeah. As he got a bit of damage, the telemetry is yet to update. No, I think he just spun out of turn 10. It looked like that very low traction zone, and yeah, I think his tires are cooked, and now he most certainly has damaged, and he's Constantine into the back of the McLaren there, and that's a DNF for sort of bad. Oh my days, what is going on there? Is that a safety car or not? I don't think so. It's sort of off the track. At least no one is around him, so I think we're just going to resume racing, folks. But yeah, a very, what do you call, unfortunate sequence of events there for the McLaren and the Alfa Romeo. I think his tires are just too cooked, and yeah, he's making a pit stop now because he's got front wing damage. But further on ahead, Sai sort of eked back into the gap which Kanak had over him, and he is on the softer compound, so yeah, keep an eye out on those guys. Meanwhile, Kai, could we go to the positions gained and lost and have a look at who's benefited how and by how much? So Swagger, if you could just run us through that, because I see some notable names up there.
So one of the biggest, just winners out of this that I could see is Faizan gaining 11 positions of that race start. So amazing, race start by him. We got Sai, who's also gained around 6 positions right there, and so has Alex. Just both of them followed through. And what an amazing start this has been for few of them, and a pretty bad, for the rest of the guys as well, because people like King James, Heisenberg, and even BK for that matter have lost out more than 10 positions, and it's only top 3.
Yeah, BK's just spun again there on the exit of 4, and his day is going from bad to worse. I think the only thing that can save his race right now is a safety car, and hopefully I haven't jinxed that for the drivers out there, because this is some great battling right now. Everyone's gotten into a rhythm state. They're all flowing through these corners ever so well, and as Sai is putting on the charge on the softer compound, trying to get the Alpine of Kanak. As Heisenberg, he's showing that he has the race pace. He's in P14 right now, but yeah, do keep an eye out on him. He will be making his way up the field, slicing his way through the pack for sure. As we have some people going around the order up and down. There's a battle going on. That's Faizan going down the inside of Deepakraj. Deepak holds it around the outside. And some great wheel-to-wheel action. Good defending from the AlphaTauri driver, but Faizan on the harder compound does have the pace advantage. He sends it down the inside into the hairpin. Is he going to make it stick? Deepak goes around the outside, gets the wider line, and gets the power down before the Merc can. And some great battling going on here. Deepak defending ever so well from the Mercedes driver behind him right now.
So very decent battle going on for P6 between Deepak, Faizan and ABD, and ABD is just right there behind them, so that if there's a mistake, if someone spins out, he can get that position, and he is putting a lot of pressure on Faizan right now. And we even have Shrey, who's fallen down the order quite a bit, and Existence putting in pressure on him as well. And in the com box, we even have Shock. So Shock, obviously you have been looking at the whole race behind the scenes. So what do you think about the race till now?
I think it's been going pretty well for some drivers, just like Aston Martin. But currently seeing Haas's position on the grid, it's not been going well for them after such a strong qualifying session. But I think they can make it back to the field, mainly because of Heisenberg's pace throughout the race. So we hope to see something from them coming up pretty soon.
Yep,
and Ferrari's made it up.
Yep,
yeah, and Ferrari's made it up pretty well onto P3 after starting all the way back at P9, which is a wonderful job done by him.
Yeah, absolutely. Some great insight by Shock right there. We just saw a great move by Dark Knight on Ink right now, and he's certainly making his way up the field. Alex has got a large buffer behind him, doesn't he? And he's hot on the tails of Sai Tarun right now. These guys are quite friendly in VC. They stick around, they practice around together, and the friends are going to have a battle on track right now. As Ferrari on the medium tires does seem to have a bit of a pace advantage over his Aston Martin competitor right now, as he's just sussing out the lines as the Ferrari, trying to get the better exit compared to the Aston in front of him. Could we go back to the tires and see, yeah, if anyone's made any extra stops? Okay, yeah, I think Shrey's gone back to the softs. Shrey's had a coming with someone because he was running quite well. He had an incident-free start. We just lost 1 or 2 positions, but he's made a pit for the soft tires, and Haas's day goes from bad to worse right now. As the Ferrari of Alex sends it down the inside side, giving him ample amount of space, but not quite so much on the exit there, putting his elbows out, which is great to watch. It's all in the jest of racing, and yeah, it looks like it's shaping up to be a great battle right now.
And in the background, we can see that Ink has actually overtaken Dark Knight, and he's actually made the move stick. So, Kai, can we just quickly go on to Ink? And there we go. They're still pretty close to each other. Dark Knight hasn't really, like got any issues or anything. He's just, right behind him. He might get DRS, and he will have a proper chance to make a proper comeback and, maybe re-overtake him from here. So, again, Ink making an overtake on Dark Knight and Sai defending from Alex. Aston Martin are doing pretty decent till now to get a lot of points.
Yeah, some good battles, good plot lines are shaping up right now on track. Ink and Dark Knight being one of them, Alex and Sai being one of them. Both the Astons are involved in their own respective battles as Eisenberg's trying to send it down the inside now, around the outside of turn 13, makes it stick. Yes, he does. Great move by the Haas driver, and so begins his surge up the field right now.
So we have a few people getting penalties here and there, and yeah, pretty decent race from FIFA Kanak as well. Mind you, he's on the hards, and there's a 1.7 second gap between him and Sai. And yet again, Dark Knight makes a move on Ink, and they are just swapping positions left, right, and center right now. And so is Alex. Alex is trying to make the move on Sai, but Sai doing an amazing job defending him, and this is only helping FIFA Kanak just extend that gap, or maybe just keep it at 1.8 seconds and just maybe caress those tires while these guys are fighting each other and using a lot of their ERS.
Yeah, absolutely. Kanak is sort of sorted right now, isn't he? He can just play it safe, doesn't have to splurge any ERS. He can hang on to that battery for the end of his stint, and probably on the second stint as well, where he'll go absolutely rapid, trying to push everything those mediums will have to offer. I think Chicken has DNF'd, and that is a safety car. There's some debris on the back straight there in the second or third DRS zone, sorry. Chicken has DNF'd, and that's brought out a safety car. This could most certainly spice things up, because tell you what, I don't know what the right call is, if it's to stay out and on the hards, or if it's just box to mediums right now, and is it vice versa for the medium runners? What do you say, Swagger? What do you think is the right decision these drivers can do right now?
See, if it was me as the guy in first, like for example, let's say I was in FIFA Canuck shoes, I wouldn't have pit because it's the hard tires. Whereas if I am on the mediums, I would definitely pit, because this is a perfect time for them to get into the pits, get a set of hards, and just extend those tires till the end. Whereas FIFA Canuck as well as Ink, who are on the hards, will have to make a stop. Because they haven't stopped yet, and they'll be on the hards. So it's like equal playing field for now, but because of the safety car, everyone is going to just get bunched up. Yeah. And towards the end, they will have to pit, and getting a 20-second gap back is going to be a pretty tough task for these guys.
Yeah, I think the medium runners, the right decision is for them to pit to hards right now, because the pit window normally is around lap 12, and now since we have a buffer of a safety car where they'll be just doing, they won't be pushing the car at all, the tires at all. So, yeah, I think they might be set. If that's their last stop, they'll have to make. Granted, there's not another safety car that's brought out, and they might have a huge advantage over all the hard runners right now. Currently, who have started in the hard, because their pit stop they have a pit stop advantage. And
This also
Sai Tarun looks like, guys, Sai Tarun looks like the winner, the probable winner, net race winner for this leader, I should say, for this race right now.
Yeah, this also is pretty good for the horse drivers. They were very far back, now they're going to get bunched up with the back already serving his pit stop for Heisenberg, which is amazing for Haas after having that terrible start to the race. But this does put a lot more pressure on FIFA Kanak because he's got medium runners with hard runners with fresh tires right behind him, and let's see how he manages this restart.
Yeah, absolutely. You bring up a good point here. Kanak is in sort of a predicament. So is Ink. But tell you what, I think if they can eke out enough of a gap, because there will be some, tagging going on in the midfield, in the mid pack, as they all squabble for position on the fresh tires. These front runners might just be able to pull off a gap. Not a pit stop gap, that's for sure, but enough of a gap to, just not, get as disadvantageous. Where even though they're a pit stop behind, so where they can still pull back on medium stint.
Yeah, absolutely. And FIFA Kanak also needs to pit once during the race, which also puts more pressure on him. So this safety car is really not to his benefit right now, which is difficult to see for him after having a strong qualifying and a strong race start coming from his side.
Yep.
Indeed. And if you guys are just tuning into the stream, it's only lap 9. We have a safety car. A lot of the front runners have stopped. FIFA, Kanak, Ink, and Faizan haven't. So it's going to get super spicy towards the end of this race. So do stick around to find out who actually comes out on top in Tier 2. And you guys can even subscribe to the channel. And as we'll have a Tier 1 race where the best from India will be racing at night at 8 p.m. today.
Yeah,
Do
we look
tune in
forward
that,
to it.
folks. We do go live at 8 p.m. tonight. When the fastest boys in IRC will be taking to the grid and battling it out on the very same circuit. But back to the things on board right now. We've got a bit of a grace, a bit of a buffer right now. A nice time to suss out the different plot lines which are going to be evolving throughout the course of the remainder of the race. We got Sai Tarun, who's a net race leader right now. I'm going to keep saying that. I'm going to keep milking that till the end of the race. I will not stop. We have Dark Knight and Deepak in the net podium. So great turn of events for Deepak as well, who's been so unlucky in league racing in general. So I'm just really happy that he's had a stroke of fortune right now, where he finds himself with not only contention for the podium, but also for the win, because we do know he's got some exemplary racecraft. He knows when to back out, he knows when to stick his nose in, and he knows when to deploy the battery and when to go for the send and when not to. So yeah, do keep an eye out on him as well. Heisenberg as well, the Haas driver, ever so quick in qualifying, will certainly be on the charge with the fresh hard tires and trying to cut his way through those in front of him right now.
Yeah, Heisenberg is completely back into the race now. He went all the way down to P19. Currently, he's at P4 in the race. So he's a good shot of coming back in this race thanks to the safety stuff. It is brilliant from him and lucky from him.
Indeed. So right now, what we have to focus on is FIFA Kanak had a proper lead, a 2-second lead over the rest of the field, and he was in cruise control mode. So now he will have to use that ERS, because all the fighting that these guys were having in the back, it's all just nullified now. Everyone is going to have 100% ERS, and mostly Sai and the rest of the guys have already pit. They are essentially almost a pit stop ahead, because FIFA, Kanak, Ink, Faizan, and the rest of the guys still, I think P7, they still have to pit. Of course, they'll have a better, race tire towards the end, lesser fuel, medium tires, so the times will be pretty quick. But yeah, it's like this is actually the perfect time for people to pit, because lap 13 is the normal. If you're racing without a safety car, your pit window opens when you hit lap 13. So safety car is in this lap. So let's see how FIFA Kanak goes about taking the other people just slowing everyone down, bunching the field up, and let's see how he is going to take this restart.
Yep, the drivers are weaving for tire temps, but just want to note that Alex has gone for a very bizarre strategy. He's gone for the soft tire, the red wall tire. Not sure what his plan of action is right now to sort of scythe his way through the field, but yeah, those softs will be quite screwed by the end of his stint as FIFA kind of gets ready to take the charge on, gets the restart nailed actually. He gets a half a second jump on Ink. Ink caught napping there, goes defensive immediately. Does the Aston Martin, weaving to get tire temps into his car right now. Faizan sticking close behind, and so are the other drivers, all sticking close behind. No one's going for any risky moves right now because they know the tires are cold and they're going to take a while to come back up to temps right now. Sai Tarun is moving down the field a bit. What's happened there? He's lost 2 positions to Dark Knight and Deepak. I think he might have locked up because of cold tires. So yeah, that's a bit unfortunate for him right now. But further ahead, the Alpine gets the restart nailed and almost has a second over his competitor in the green car right behind him.
Indeed, and the point that you pointed out about Alex, I have no idea. Maybe he's had some contact during the safety car and forced himself to pit, because it was a very odd time to pit because he's losing a lot of positions, and it's, of course, as they say in the real life as well, it's a one thing to catch up to someone and get another thing for them to overtake.
So
it's going to be hard.
Existence, I think there's a bit of scurrying going on with the Kai. Just watch out for the gaps. You know when to switch then. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, go ahead, Swag.
So he has to cut through the field ASAP because those soft tires after 5 laps are basically, useless. And we see that Existence getting a bump from King James. Thankfully, nothing happened to both of them. Can we just go on board King James to see if he has any front wing damage? We didn't really see any end plate falling off. So yeah, there we go. Don't have any damage as of now. So is he going to go for a move down the inside? And he does. They're going side by side now. A bit of spark, I don't think there was any contact, thankfully. And King James yet again right behind, and we see the not Aston Martins, the AlphaTauris going side by side as well. That is Face Crack and Deepak, and
they're swapping. Yeah,
of them just wanted to have a proper fight. So it could be a team orders or maybe just speed advantage.
Yeah, I think pretty sure those were team orders because yeah, it doesn't make sense for Face Crack to hold up Deepak. He's on the vastly fresher tires right now. Sai Tarun also makes his way through on Face Crack. So, yeah, Dark Knight is now your current race net leader. And let's go on board as Heisenberg tries to go around the outside. Oh, no, dearie me. No, that is not what you want to do, my lad. You do not want to touch that outside curb on the exit as he loses the car and spins the rear round. And that is certainly going to hamper his charge through the field. And yeah, it's just not a good day for the Haas boys, is it?
I mean, Heisenberg started first.
Certainly not.
Heisenberg started first, was last by the end of lap 1. And right now, he's probably going to get at least a few points. Because top 15 in IRC get points, so he's still in points. But yeah, not as much as what you get when you're in pole.
Yep. On board with the second Red Bull driver, ABD, who's had a bit of a quiet race so far. Didn't quite benefit from the safety car, didn't quite, get disadvantaged by it either. But yeah, there he goes. There's racecraft in action, sussing out the opponents in front of him, being ever so wary as he takes off track. Ooh, is that move going to stick? It doesn't matter because Heisenberg's sort of coming back at him right now. Is he going to hang it round the outside? Yep, easily does. And he's got way more grip on the hard tire there. Tell you what, Heisenberg hasn't lost that much time to the field in front of him. He's only 2.5 seconds behind. ABD's got a 5 second for corner cutting, gained 1 place. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. He did leave the track to gain an advantage on Heisenberg, I think. And that's what's granted him the penalty right there. On board the Ferrari of Axel Sam, he's on very worn tires, but he is defending. He's attacking. He's on the attack of on the back of King James, who I do think he's got a bit of damage from that Swagger, because even though it might not update in the telemetry, there was the contact was way too way too high of a magnitude to not warrant any damage there. So he will be struggling with some chronic understeer right now, which could explain why Alex is all over the back of him.
And the other thing is that we have Alex in B11 who's on those soft tires. And yeah, he was almost towards the back of the pack, and slowly but surely he's gaining a lot of positions. And Axel Sam, King James and Existence, both of them are going side by side though, and this is a battle for P5. And will he go down the inside? And King James just, keeping it clean. He knows where to keep the car, where to position the car, and just stays, gets P4 actually.
The Ferrari had a skewed exit there. Is Dark Knight going to come back at him? Stays behind, goes for the send, backs out last second. But I think that caused the Ferrari to take a very awkward line, which could hamper him on the exit. No, still holds up in front. But yeah, this move is inevitable. It really is going to come very soon. As Dark Knight's just hounding the rear of the Ferrari there. Ooh, misses his braking point. I think I just jinxed him there. And through goes Deepak. And yeah, great bit of action right there. The Dark Knight just getting ever so late on the brakes there and locking up into turn 8 right there, which is so very easy to do so because it's downhill and you use a bit of the left curb to brake as well, so you don't have that much grip. And yeah, he's lost the position right there.
So of just a few more laps, and the hard tires, the hard tire runners have to be, it's going to be the pit window open, and they will be getting into the pits. So it's going to be interesting to see where they come out. And Strendy gets a 3-second penalty for probably corner cutting or exceeding track limits, and quite a lot of people actually getting a penalty here. Maybe anybody will, talk to raise a penalty, for taking out the penalty. But yeah, on board right now, Axel Sam against Existence. He does have DRS, goes down the inside, and I don't think Existence will be. Oh, he does go for the switcheroo though.
Yeah, he goes for the switcheroo. And yeah, the Alpine gets the move done on the outside there of the Ferrari. Yeah, great bit of racecraft right there. I think Axel went a bit too deep into the corner, tried to brake just a tad bit later, and it's hampered his run into turn 2 exit, and that's caused the Alpine to come back around him.
I was right, I was about to say that maybe Axel Sam has made this move stick and Existence won't be able to come back, but I was wrong. He instantly just went for the switcheroo and got the move done. So he still holds on to P5, and right in front, FIFA Kanak again, a 2-second gap to Ink, and Faizan as well. Faizan is 2 seconds behind Ink. So it's going to be interesting towards lap maybe, let's say 17, 18, when these guys pit, get on those mediums, and we'll have to see where they end up from there. So right now, I think it is Deepak who is the net leader, because he's the only guy who is the leading, car who have already pit.
Yep, that is right. That is right, and what I'm seeing right now is, as Alex is getting very hot under the collar of Heisenberg there, trying to get the move done, but I think those softs are just starting to wither away slowly, bit by bit, lap by lap. But what I'm trying to say is that the people who stayed out under safety car are really, they're gonna be way off the front leaders right now, because the pack, look how bunched up that pack is, and they're gonna come way behind everyone, because the pit stop phase is around 20 laps or so.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't quite know. I think the best bet for the hard runners right now is to eke out these hards just as long as they can and wait for a safety car. If there's no safety car, then probably just bolt on the softs and just go for it, full send it.
That's also a very good idea that it didn't even pop in my head that because of the safety car, these guys could have saved their tires. So
yep,
that actually could be a very good strategy of just eking the tires, going to those maybe let's say lap 20 or 23, pitting for softs and going for a proper charge towards the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Deepak still hasn't been able to get past Axel Sam right now. Though I think that is down to Axel having DRS, and it's sort of stagnated into a DRS train, a very common showing in these F1 races where all these cars just get stuck behind one another because DRS is just too powerful to warrant any moves, because the straight line is just so high for the car in front. Axel Sam is the first one of the previous hard runners to bite, and he goes into the pits. Yeah, he's trying to get the undercut of the guys in front of him, which I think is a wise decision. He will come out in a lot of free air and put on a fresh set of mediums, or will he put on the softs? No, he does put on the mediums, and yeah, those mediums these everyone who's going to pit to mediums right now will require to be setting quali lap after quali lap to eke out as much what you call a pace advantage out of those tires to catch up to the current hard runners right now who've already pit to the hards.
Indeed, Alex on 7-lap old tires and all the way from, I say, P4 to P15.
Dark Knight's lost a position. Could we go on with Deepak and Dark Knight?
And Strendy is retired.
Strendy's out. Strendy is out. It's a safety car. It's a safety car, lads. It is a safety car, and this is a godsend for the hard runners right now. Oh my, oh my. Who could have seen this coming? And Axel Sam will be kicking himself right now. Just a lap longer had he waited, he would have been golden with the pack in front of him. But this is certainly a godsend for the drivers right now, for the hard runners right now, because they have a free pit stop over everyone below them right now.
Indeed, so it's equal playing field now because FIFA Kanak Inc. all the top 3 to all the top 5 are gonna come into the pits, get on those mediums, and how the tables have turned. Right now, it's like earlier we were just saying that Deepak has the net provision, let's say first, but yeah, it's like everything could change now because these guys will be on those fresh mediums unless the other guys also pit for mediums and maybe go for a different strategy. And I think it is Heisenberg who stays out.
Deepak's pit. Deepak has opted to pit as well. Heisenberg stays out. Deepak pits. Dark Knight pits as well. Alex pits for a fresh set of softs. He's going for it again. Sai pits as well for mediums. This is okay. This is not what I imagined. I thought the hard runners would most definitely just stay out, but everyone's opted to pit apart from Heisenberg.
The biggest loser over here is Axel Sam because he pit yet again for another set of mediums. So
okay, that is strange. I have no clue why he's done that.
So this whole race has literally gone from bad to worse. So again, good for Heisenberg because he's leading the pack right now. But yeah, FIFA Kanak Inc., Faizan, all of these guys are on those mediums right now. Guys started on the hards, and the safety car literally just came to them like a blessing. So it's going to be interesting to see the last 10 laps of this race and see where everyone ends up.
I'm still boggled as to why these guys pit. Maybe they trust that the mediums are just going to be that much faster. Maybe Heisenberg's just confident, that much more confident over that he has a pace over the rest of the field to just eke out in front. Very interesting situation here. What I think is that Heisenberg's sort of more confident in clean air. He has struggled to sort of race wheel to wheel, especially for today's race. He struggled to get the moves done in time. Maybe now he just wants a bit of clean air, a bit of free space, a bit of a breather to just put his head down, put some quali-esque laps in, and try to defend his very best from FIFA Kanak. Though I think the hards are just going to be too much. The tire offset is just going to be too large for him to do anything here.
One thing to keep in mind is that Heisenberg was stuck behind a lot of these guys because of DRS trains. So we basically had a train going from, I think, P14 all the way down to P15. So this is basically, I think Heisenberg stayed out so that even if he gets, let's say, overtaken by the guys who just pit, he will still have a better chance because he was almost 4 tenths faster than the guy in second. So I think he's just confident in his pace that he can stick that Haas in first for a bit, and let's say he's not able to match the pace of the medium runners, he won't be losing that many positions compared to gaining all those positions because of a DRS train.
Yeah, absolutely. DRS train is certainly possible, especially from what we've seen right now where Deepak struggled to get past Axel, even though he had 10 lap fresher tires than him.
Yep.
I think someone's left the session. Who is that? Couldn't quite catch the name because of the watermarks there, but yeah, hopefully they rejoin back in case it's a disconnect. Axel has spit again for soft tires. What's going on here now?
I think Axel is, just like, you know what? It's a safety car. Maybe, just at this point, he's last anyways. Let's just go for softs, go for that fastest lap, and have something going out of this weekend.
He's not going to be able to catch up to the field, I think, or barely even going to be able to catch up to the field, because I think the safety car will be coming in this lap. It's been 2 laps already under the behind the safety car right now. Yeah, as we get on board, the Haas driver preparing his tires for the start. Tell you what, those hards will actually be easier to get up to temperature than those mediums because they are scrubbed in. And if that's the case, it's always easier to get a scrubbed set of tire up to temperature rather than a fresh one. Never mind, the safety car is not coming in this lap, I think. Yeah, it's going to go out for another lap. So yeah, Axel has just one more lap to catch up to the back of the field right now. Okay, let's put this out to all the viewers who are watching. Put in your top 3 predictions for the race. Let's have a look and see what you guys think are going to be the standings by the end of the race. Is it going to finish as is? Is Heisenberg going to drop down the order massively? Is someone fresh on the mediums going to make his way back up the field? What's going to happen? Put your predictions down in the chat. Yeah. And yeah, Swagger, you too. What do you think are the possibilities that you can see amounting from the current scenario right now?
I was just looking at the chat as well, and yeah, Shashank says that he wants a host for P1, and someone out there has said that ABD P1. So that's going to be a tall ask from him, regarding because of the fact that he's P13 right now. But I think FIFA Kanak has got this in the bag because he has been, just controlling this whole race till now, and this late safety car has really helped him out with the strategy as well, because let's say the other people hadn't pit, he still would have been right behind them on mediums, and right now he just has one rival in front of him. And yeah, FIFA Connect has a decent chance at first in Bahrain. But
Indeed,
then again,
yeah.
there's one thing that you need to keep in mind. Like in real life, a lot of people say that it's literally a stat that the person who wins the Bahrain GP or the first Grand Prix has had a curse and yeah, hasn't really won the WDC. So is that gonna affect in our IRC world as well or not? We'll just have to wait.
Well, we'll have to have a look at the past seasons and see if the first race winning curse is a thing in IRC as well. Yeah, someone will have to do that in the background right there as we get on board for the sprint to the finish. Final 9 laps to go on right now. Things as they stand, Heisenberg on the white wall tires like his car, getting the tire temps in. FIFA Kanak on the medium tires, fresh rubber, pace advantage is geared in. These two are going to take to the track. Heisenberg gets his restart nailed. Am I right about that? No, he gets bogged down on the exit right now. But now he's gone. He's gone. He's pulled out 6/10 of a gap. Now half a second of a gap to the Alpine behind him. And yeah, I think that was a fairly good enough restart for the Haas driver right there. Alex on the fresh softs goes past Dark Knight instantly, not wasting any time because he knows those softs will be dying by the end of it. And he's also going round the outside of Deepak. Those tires are absolutely on fire right now. They are just so grippy, so rubbered in, and none of these drivers can do anything to defend against this Ferrari right now. Although Deepak does try to hang it around the outside, and he does. Wow, that is not something I expected. On the slower rubber, he's hung it around the outside, and some great wheel-to-wheel action right now. So I think the Ferrari just sends it down the inside into turn 8. Is he going to make the move stick? No. The AlphaTauri gets the better run on the exit, on the outside, and keeps the position for now.
Deepak has, played this very well, and as I'm saying that, he goes wide. Deepak was doing so well to keep Alex right behind him, getting perfect exits, and out of the hairpin, he just, I don't know what happened there. Maybe he touched the curb and went wide. He still hasn't lost a lot of positions. So he's in P6, which is not too bad because Alex has a 3-second time penalty. So he still is a net P5 as of now. And Ink, super close to Heisenberg. FIFA Kanak has overtaken Heisenberg and taken the lead right now. And Ink is hot on Heisenberg's tail to try and get that P2 off of him. And so is Faizan, who's only 5 tenths behind. So a lot of racing still, to go in the last laps of Bahrain GP. Ink going around the
Ink, bit of contact there between these two drivers. Ink tried to go around the outside. Heisenberg wasn't having any of it. He's giving it all on the dead rubber right now to defend. Ooh, Sai Tarun gets a 3-second time penalty. That's going to happen him quite a lot, considering the field is all bunched up as well right now. So yeah, that's not going to be nice for him. And Ink is on the charge right now. He's trying to get the move done as quick as possible, so he has a chance to sail after the Alpine of Kanak. He's being very aggressive there on the Haas and Heisenberg again. Again, he gets flustered when going wheel to wheel with another driver, and he just loses not one but 2 positions as well. And yeah, he's lost his car again on the exit of that corner, and not only lost P2 but the podium position as well.
And as you were talking about this right at the start, Moto, Ink yet again just being consistent, having a proper strategy, helping him out as well with the safety cars. He is in P2 right now, and the gap is only 1.2 seconds. He does not have to defend from Faizan because there's still a pretty decent gap between these two. And yeah, it's very, very crucial for these guys to get into the DRS range of FIFA Kanak. Otherwise, he is definitely going to just fly off into the distance like he's been
absolutely.
doing now.
DRS is now enabled. Ink sets the fastest lap. So does Alex after that, but he is on the soft tire. But yeah, Ink is already within DRS. I think he spammed a bit of his battery right now just to get within DRS, so he can now save a bit of it when he does benefit from the DRS assistance right there, so he can get a bit of that battery back, which he just splurged right now. Axel hot behind Heisenberg's rear diffuser right now, and he's trying to get the move done on the exit of 4, trying to short shift, get the car as straight as possible, power down on the exit, but yeah, still hangs back for a while. I think those softs will be in their prime position right now, but they will be wearing out quite quickly, give or take another 3 or 4 laps, I think.
Indeed, and we have a slow Aston Martin of Sai, and ABD just goes around the outside of him and does take the position, and so does Alex. Alex actually overtakes Heisenberg, and he already has, I think, almost 3 seconds over Deepak, which is just Heisenberg, I think, spun out and lost out a lot of time, and Deepak is right behind him as well. So Alex, with that 3 seconds, he is pushing on the limit right now because this is the only part that he has to care about. He has to try and push as much as he can, stay in the DRS of Faizan if he can catch him, and yeah, just try to carry those tires towards, till the end of this race, and maybe in the process get a 3-second gap to Heisenberg behind. And FIFA Kanak setting the fastest lap of 1:31. So all the cars are getting lighter and lighter, and FIFA Kanak is on the charge to just keep this victory with him. He has been leading almost every single lap, so he wants to try and just win this and wrap it up.
Yeah, Dark Knight is looking very racy right now. He's got half of his battery left. Could we have a look at Deepak's ERS, guy, if that's possible? Go on with Deepak and see his. Yeah, Deepak does have 30% odd. So yeah, Dark Knight does look on the better side in terms of battery management right now. And it's going to be interesting to see if he can get the move done or not. As yeah, Deepak is sort of dropping back from Heisenberg, which is quite surprising considering he's on much fresher rubber right now. And Heisenberg is just starting to get back on Alex's tail right now. The soft tires will be deteriorating right now rapidly. I think they will be hitting the cliff in another lap or 2. So yeah, it's integral that Deepak stays within DRS, otherwise Dark Knight will not be able to even have a chance of getting on the back of Heisenberg, because Heisenberg looks very consistent, very good easy on his tires, on the hard tires right now, and still keeping up with the runners in front of him.
Indeed, and honestly, a very decent showing from the boys in the Red Bull as well. Both of them, seventh and eighth. At least Dark Knight was, up there in the top 10. I think ABD was right just outside. So he's had a very decent race to get back to, P8. And yeah, just a few misfortunes for the three DNFs. And while I'm talking about that, goes down the inside. Dark Knight trying to go for a move on Deepak. Both the sister teams fighting it out over here, and Deepak just keeping that car just in front of Dark Knight right now. But he looks for another move down the inside. Deepak,
Oh
and they have
no!
contact. He has a contact. Dark Knight went down the inside of Deepak. Maybe just like what happened last time. I was gonna say Deepak keeps it around the outside, and they have contact, and Dark Knight has fallen down to P10. Okay, so that was just super unfortunate for Dark Knight right there. Just a small contact, and he's almost, he's lost a lot of time. Needs to try and get that back. The whole pack, though, is pretty bunched up. And for some reason, Existence is 24 seconds behind Jose. So he's definitely made another pit stop that we can really see over here. ABD, though, right behind Sai Tarun. He has a 3-second penalty, but he's trying to go for a move around the outside on turn 13, going to turn 14 now. Thankfully, there was no contact over there. But yeah, it's like both the Red Bulls again get on a charge in the second half of this race.
Yeah, absolutely. Though going back to the Red Bulls incident, I don't think that was on Deepak. The Aston goes very defensive there, all the way to the pit board. But alas, can't do much with the DRS power that ABD has on him right now, as he gets the exit nailed as well. Will Sai come back at him with the help of the second DRS zone? ABD goes defensive instantly, and I think he's got that covered right now. Sai tries to hang it around the outside, but can't quite stick his nose in. And it's P7 for the Red Bull driver right now. Good showing from him.
Indeed, a very decent showing from a lot of these guys. Faizan gaining 11 positions. Like even earlier, he had done he had a very very good lap 1, and Alex did 3 pit stops and is still in P4. Of course, he has a 3-second penalty which he's trying to gain over Heisenberg and Deepak. But yeah, it's like Heisenberg is only 3 tenths behind him, and Faizan actually closing in on Ink. So we still have 4 laps to go, including this one. So it's going to be super close between these guys towards the end, because it's only 5 tenths between them. And Faizan only having 5% ERS, whereas Ink has only 13. So both of them super low on ERS, and Bahrain is a track where you don't really gain that much of ERS. So this is going to be pure pace, make a mistake and you're done for.
But
So
he's going for it. Nearly going for it. But yeah, Ink just able to defend there at the last minute. Who gets a better exit? I think the Aston Martin got the better run on the exit of turn 2 there. Yeah, there we go, as Heisenberg gets rid of Alex on his way there to P4 right now. So yeah, those soft tires, you can see from the telemetry graphic right there. They're quite cooked, they're quite red, and even like the soft tire, they're probably done and dusted for the race now. So it's all a matter of damage limitation for the Ferrari right now, and he's going to just be defending from everyone who's behind him for a while.
Indeed, and yet again, these two are super close to each other, and King James in the background just dropping down the leaderboard as well, maybe had a spin, and it's top 2. Of course, FIFA is, he's just checked out 2 seconds in front of these guys right now, and Faizan super close to Ink, and yeah, this is going to be down to the wire. Both of them are super low on ERS. I think Faizan will have one chance towards the end of, let's say 28 or lap 29. He'll have one chance. He'll have to dump every bit of ERS that he has, use the DRS, and will he be able to, overtake Ink? You guys have to, let us know in the chat down below.
Yeah, Ink goes very defensive very early on again there. But yeah, he's able to stay ahead. I think his straight line, was Faizan gets very late on the brakes, trying to just trying to put his nose in there, trying to way off Ink, appear in his mirrors and always occupy his mirrors, as they say in racing terminology. There's a bit of battling going on further down the field. I think it's the Haas of Shrey and Face Crack just swapping positions right there. Meanwhile, Deepak has clawed his way back to P5 now. Almost Alex gets another penalty, and with those deteriorating softs, he's going to drop down even more with the 6 seconds he has right now. As Deepak gets a move done on him. I don't know which corner. I think that was turn 8. Yeah, turn 8. He gets a move done. So as we head on to the last lap, yeah, sorry, my voice is going a bit right now. Faizan 4 and a bit tense behind the rear of the Aston right now, but he does have the Aston does have the surplus of ERS over the Merc right now. So it's going to be interesting. Again, Ink goes defensive on this straight as well. He's not trying to. He's making sure that Faizan does not get any slipstream whatsoever. Though I think Ink will have the surplus of ERS, and that's going to cause him just to stay ahead till the very end. Could we go on board Ink and see how much he has right now? Yeah, 16%, and he's not using any. He's going to save it for the end of the lap. As we head on to the final lap, as Faizan tries to go round the outside, poking his nose in again. He's going to get the better exit, but of course Ink is going to splurge all his ERS right now. Yep, starts flapping, and he's got way more ERS to hold off Faizan again, who's trying to occupy his mirrors, and it's a bit too little, too late for the Merc driver right there.
Indeed, Ink has done a fantastic job of keeping Faizan at bay, and what a race from him as well. I think he qualified P7, getting a P2, and yet again, the race, let's say the potential race winner right now, FIFA Kanak, 2.5 seconds in front of these guys who are battling it out for P2. A lovely, lovely drive by him to just keep it in front of these guys, not get into any of the crashes, and just keeping a very clean race. And yeah, overall, pretty decent strategy. SC did help these guys, and as well as it did hinder them as well. But yeah, coming to the last penultimate corner and then the final corner, FIFA Kanak has done a very good job in the Bahrain Grand Prix Moto.
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing to note, as Dark Knight gets the move done on Alex there on the last lap, Sai Tarun, I think Alex just spun it. Yeah, I think Alex has spun it on some corner exit there. But yeah, the Alpine does win the inaugural race of Tier 2. A fantastic showing from the Alpine drivers right there. FIFA Kanak coming from ACC to F1 and asserting his dominance in this tier as well. P2 is Ink, another fantastically consistent drive from him. Impeccable racecraft really, and impeccable ERS management. P3 rounding off the podium is Faizan. Another really good solid race for him. 4 Heisenberg gets a good comeback drive. Lot of incidents. Tell you what, Heisenberg could have dominated this race if it wasn't for the offings he had. Several offings he had throughout the course of this entire race. P5 Deepak, P6 ABD, and P7 Dark Knight. Yeah, I think the West Point finishes we'll have a look at on the race standing screen. But yeah, what are your 2 cents for that, Dark Knight and Shock as well, who's been here with us for a while? Let's hear both of your 2 cents in this race so far.
Honestly, I was expecting a Perez-like comeback from Heisenberg, which he actually did. He came up till P4, which was, super good to see. And yeah, a pretty decent drive. Again, if he didn't get into those, if he kept his nose clean, didn't have any contact, maybe it would have been way better. But again, we'll have to see how everything pans out after all the penalties and stuff, which is, which will go to the stewards and after their verdicts. Shock.
I think the race was very well executed by most drivers, and I feel like some of the midfield drivers who started quite far back had a great comeback. Some did take in note, like ABD, and like Faizan had a good race throughout, but it'll be between those two for my driver of the day for this. What about you guys?
Yeah, overall a very decent showing from most of these guys. As I said, FIFA Kanak, Ink and Faizan all started on hards, and all three of them are on the podium. So definitely the right strategy call as well. And coming into the pits at the right time with both the safety cars was also, very, very good. And yeah, overall a very, very good race. So if you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like. And it's not over yet, because we will have the podium celebrations as well as the podium interviews with the top three in the league. Kai, can we quickly switch to the podium celebrations part? All right, so we have all three of our all the podium places, like all the guys from the podium. So let's quickly talk to let's quickly talk to the person in P3, Faizan. So Faizan, you had a pretty bad quali, but you made the best of the start, as well as just keeping the car clean, not having any issues with accidents and whatnot. And P3, what are your thoughts on this race?
Thanks. Yeah, very good race. I think in qualifying that was my pace. I couldn't have gone any faster. And I think the top 15 were within a second in qualifying, so that shows the level of talent in this tier. Talking about the race, I think the safety car came at the wrong time for the first safety car. The second safety car was like bang on for the hardness on lap 17, so that helped a lot. And yeah, very good battle with Ink there. I tried my best, and yeah, he was just too fast. I think he was running a higher downforce setup. I couldn't keep up with him in the middle sectors, and yeah, he was just too far ahead by the time we reached to the straight. But yeah, good race.
Indeed, a very good showing for the Mercedes team as well, and congrats on P3.
Yep, thanks.
Okay, so Shock, you want to ask a few questions to Ink in P2?
Yeah, of course. Ink, a dominant
Hello.
drive shown by you. What were
Thank
your
you.
opinions on your race, and what do you think you could have improved? How'd the race go? Tell us about that.
Well, in terms of improvement, I think me and my teammate Sai Tarun, we did want maximum what we could in terms of qualifying. We were doing the same lap times which we were practicing on. That is like 28.9 was the maximum which we could do. So we both did somewhere around that. And in terms of race, Sai Tarun unfortunately, got disconnected and he made up to P8, I think, in the end. But in terms of myself, I got a decent start. I was up a few positions in the start. There were a few collisions as well. And like Faizan mentioned, the second safety car was, spot on for the alternate strategy. People like me, FIFA Kanak, and Faizan. So we were like, I was trying to get ahead of Faizan and FIFA Kanak, but FIFA Kanak was too fast for me. He within 2 laps he used to run away from the DRS 1 second gap.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
What
then
about the pressure you faced from Faizan in those closing laps? What do you feel about that? What
I
were you
knew,
thinking during that
yeah,
moment?
it depend. Like looking after his race, this thing, I knew like he was running a low down first setup. So me and Sai decided last minute to go a bit high down first because we knew sector 2 will be critical, even in qualifying as well as in race, in terms of tire wear as well. So we that helped. I used to pull out some, I think, 4 tenths in the sector 2 alone to Faizan, and what I know how after like I've raced with Faizan a lot, and I knew what he'll do, what he'll be thinking, and this thing. So I knew where he'll be trying to give it a go. So I was covering the inside all the time. So it was good fun, good last stint battle with Faizan. Amazing.
Yeah,
And
wonderful performance by you. That's
yeah,
amazing.
thank you.
Now, Swagger, do you want to ask some questions to our race winner for today?
Indeed, but just before that, Ink. So again, congrats on the P2. And we were
Thanks.
talking about this with Moto as well,
Yeah.
that you have won a WCC earlier, and so has Sai Tarun. So what is your, like goal for season 10?
Well, WCC is a bare minimum for us. We think we'll be up there at least competing with other teams. You know how stacked the grid is for tier 2 this time.
Indeed.
I did a 28.9 and I was P7 only. Like guys like Heisenberg were doing 28.4, which is easy tier 1 pace. So it'll be, it's not like people say, it's not a qualifying race or turn one this thing race. It depends who finishes where. We'll see. It's a long season, 15 races. Some people might miss few races, including me and my teammate. So the WCC is certainly a goal, but WDC will be keeping an eye on.
Right, congrats on P2, and let's talk to the guy who's won this race, P1 FIFA Canuck. Of course, an amazing race throughout Canuck, and literally from start to finish, you were just leading and maintaining the gap to around 1.2 seconds to, let's say, 2 seconds with every single one. Even the first safety car that we had, you had that gap which just came down because of the safety car, and then yet again you had a perfect timed safety car for all you hard runners. What are your thoughts about this race?
Yeah, I think it was a race of safety cars, I guess. I was, I thought I lost the race in the first safety car, but luckily the second one just came perfectly bang on time. And other
Indeed.
like, yeah, and the hard medium really paid off because of that.
So of course you had a decent amount of pace and the contact with Heisenberg in the first lap. So it's like, what was going through your head throughout the whole race? Can you just quickly give a brief on that?
Yeah, I was just trying to stay out of DRS. I was pushing, I was dumping DRS in the first lap, staying out of the second, keeping the 1.5 second gap around, and just like trying to drive as clean as possible, not getting any warning, just finish the race.
And again, it's like you have won a lot in ACC as well. And the first, in IRC, you joined here and won over here as well. So if you watch Formula One, at least in real life, the
Yeah.
person who wins the opener, has, not really won the WDC. But again, you are a proper contender for WDC because you won the first race. So what is your opinion on that?
Yeah, I just hope I do a good job. It's like similar job in other races because like this is the first race, so I had a lot of practice for 2 days continuously. So I hope I can do well on the other tracks.
All right. So congratulations for P1 once again getting the maximum amount of points for your team as well. And yeah, guys, that's it for the podium interviews. I hope you guys enjoyed Moto shocks and our commentary as well. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel because in the evening at 8 p.m. we'll have yet another race for Tier 1 where the fastest in IRC are going to have a proper battle, and yeah, we'll have to see who comes out on top over there. So this is Swagger Turbo, Shock, and Moto signing off.